Hello. Happy Wednesday. All right, we're gonna get started. And I thought for the beginning, we'll start off trying to be still. So if you wanna find a comfy spot, if you wanna sit cross-legged or on your knees, or you can lay down, but I'm gonna start just sitting like this. And you can bring your hands to your knees if you want, or if you'd like to put one hand on your chest and one on your belly so you can feel your breath, then you can start there. So I'm just gonna start by staying still. And you might be able to feel, if you're sitting on your bottom, you might be able to feel your hip bones coming to the ground. So it's like two bones coming right to the floor. I'm gonna close my eyes. And I'm gonna try to find some really deep breaths here. So I'm going to breathe in through my nose and out through my nose. And if you have your hands on your body, you might feel your hands start to lift up as you breathe in. You feel all the air up in your belly or in your chest. And then feel yourself shrink a little bit as you breathe out. Nice job staying still, and then when you're ready, we'll put our hands back down and then you can open your eyes. Awesome. So, at the end of this video, I'm going to teach you another kind of breathing, and this one's really tricky. Sometimes it takes a few tries to get, and it gets better with practice, but we'll do that at the end of the video to close out our practice. So, I thought today we could do these cards that we had before. We did this in the very beginning, and it was kind of like a game. So I'm gonna shuffle these cards up and then pick from the top. We'll see what card we get, and then we're gonna try to do that pose. So it's all different kind of poses on these cards. Okay. All right, so I'm shuffling them. I'm gonna pick my top card. All right, this one is called, well, they call this one Flamingo pose. It can also be called tree pose. All right, think we can do it? So I'm gonna find my space, and I'm gonna stand up, and looks like she's balancing on one leg, and she has the other leg kind of up against that standing leg, and her hands are up. So this is, they're calling this flamingo pose, like that bird, the flamingo, who stands usually on one leg, that pink bird. Or you can call it tree pose, and you can be like a tree with waving branches. We've done this one before, so let's go try it. So I'm gonna come back to my space, and we'll try it once on one leg and then once on the other leg. So I'm gonna start off by finding my standing leg. I am gonna make my right leg my standing leg, so this one's gonna be nice and firm on the ground. And then I'm gonna use this leg, my left leg, and see if I can try to lift it up a little bit. So remember, I can balance and have just my heel up, or I can bring it closer to that leg, or I can even start to lift it up. So I'm trying, I might wobble a little bit, but I'm gonna try to stay still. And then usually I have my hands here, but in that picture, Flamingo, she had her hands above her head like this. All right, so let's try together. So I'll put that leg towards that standing leg. You might wobble a little bit. All right, and we'll come back down. So I'm gonna put my leg down and my hands come down. And now I'm gonna switch sides. So I'll take that left leg now, is gonna be the standing leg, so it's gonna be nice and strong, that whole foot on the ground. Bring my hands to heart, and then I'm gonna start to slide the other foot up. So you can stay like this, or if you wanna bring it out farther, you can. little wobbly. And then I'm gonna lift my hands, so my hands are together, but I'm gonna put them over my head, like, they look maybe a little bit like a flamingo, like that pink bird. Usually they have one leg up. And make sure you breathe here. All right, you ready to come down? So I'll put that foot down, my hands down, and then let go. All right, let's try another one. I'm gonna shuffle my cards up. Okay, top card. Hey, Lisa. All right, ready? This is rhino pose. They're calling this rhino pose. Sometimes in yoga, you can also call it triangle because kind of making a triangle shape with your legs. All right, so she has 2 feet on the ground. They're a little far apart. One foot is pointing one way, and then she has her hands coming up. And they're calling this rhino or triangle pose. I think we've done this one before too. So let's come back to our space and we'll try it together. And remember, we're gonna start on one side and then start on the other side. So first I'm gonna put my feet away from myself. I already have like this triangle shape. And I'm gonna point my feet in one direction. So I'm gonna go this way towards the window. So I see that, I just turn my toes. So my toes are facing one way. All right, and now I'm gonna bring my hands out across, and I'm going to start to reach forward towards where my toes are pointing, and then I'm gonna let that hand come down towards my ankle. And that top hand is gonna come up. And you can point that palm, it's gonna face away from you, as if you could high five someone in front of you. And if you are a little wobbly, you can look down at the ground. That might help you balance a little better. Or if you're comfortable, you can look up towards that hand that's in the sky. So this is our rhino pose or our triangle. Nice and strong. All right, I'm gonna come out of this now. So I'm gonna start to press against my feet, come up, and I'm gonna switch sides this time. So I'm just gonna take my feet and point them in the other direction. Hands are still staying out. So now my toes are pointing this way. They're both pointing the other way. So I'm going to start to reach. So reach that hand forward and then let it go down towards the ground. Top hand's coming right up. Palm face away from you. So remember, you have that palm facing forward like you're high-fiving me. And then lift it up. And if you're comfortable, start to look up towards that hand. Maybe you can wiggle the fingers and stare at those wiggling fingers. So our rhino or triangle on the opposite side. Make sure you're breathing and you're ready to come up. Press against the feet, up. See if you can square your feet off, toes facing forward. Put your hands down, and then we'll walk back. Okay, we'll do another one. That one's one of my favorites. I like that pose. All right, I'm gonna shuffle my cards again. There's a lot of cards in here. Okay. Ready? Top card. Ooh. This one is called elephant pose. Elephant pose or a wide-legged forward fold. Okay, so this one you're standing up with your feet spread apart, kind of like triangle, but then you're folding forward so you're touching the ground. All right, should we try it? I don't know if we've done this one yet together. All right, elephant pose. I'm gonna come back to my space. I'm gonna spread my feet apart. So this one, your feet can be a little farther apart if you want, and your toes are squared off. And squared off, I mean that they're facing forward. So your toes are both facing in front. All right, and then from here, I'm gonna start with my hands on my hips. And I'm gonna take a deep breath in, so breathe in through your nose. And then as you breathe out through your nose, we're gonna fold forward. And if you want, you can bend the knees a little bit so we're coming towards the ground. Once I get far enough down, I'm gonna let my hands come to the ground. And you can lift halfway up if you'd like, and then you can fold forward again. So this is our elephant pose. Maybe you can even start to reach your hands forward if you want, almost like a downward facing dog. Breathe here. And then when you're ready, let's walk the hands back. You're gonna bend the knees a lot here. Hands come to the hips and then press against the feet. We're gonna come to standing and step forward. Nice job. All right. Let's do another one. Shuffle these cards up. All right. Ready? Giraffe pose. This one is called giraffe, like the animal, or it's almost like a side angle. Okay, so she has her feet apart again, but this time she has one knee that's bent. So one knee is bent forward, that foot's facing forward. She has a hand towards her thigh, and then she has the other arm up in the sky. So giraffe or side angle. Let's try that one. All right, this was another one that we're gonna try on each side. So I'm gonna take my feet far apart, and then I'm gonna point them all towards one way, just like we were in triangle. So I'm pointing my feet this way, but this time I'm gonna bend this front knee. So I'm almost in like a lunge. I'm bending this front knee. And now, so this knee that's bent, I'm gonna take the hand on the same side and I'm gonna start to bend the elbow and rest it right on top of the thigh here. So you can say just like this. And remember, that girl had her hand up towards the sky. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with it on the ground and then rotate it up and then away from myself. Come back a little bit. All right, so that bent knee, elbow to the thigh, and then that top hand's gonna come around and up and then lift out and away. The palms facing down this time. Okay, so you can stay just like this. You can look towards that hand. Or if you have farther to go, you can take this arm and reach it down towards the ground, right next to that foot. And then I'm gonna look up towards the hand in the sky. Feel nice and long, like a long neck giraffe. Reach, 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 reach. All right, we're gonna come out of this now, which is kind of tricky. Okay, so now I'll switch sides. So I'm gonna take my feet and I'm just gonna shift them the other way. Remember, bend that front knee. And now the bottom hand, I'm gonna bend the elbow. It's gonna come right to that front of the thigh. And then this top hand, I'm gonna start to reach it forward and up. And then stretch it to the side. You can stay here, or if you wanna drop that bottom hand and really reach the hand away. Looking at that hand that's in the sky. Make sure you're breathing. And then we're gonna come out of it. Okay. I think we can do one more. Let's see what we have. Ready? This one is called butterfly pose. Do you know why it's called butterfly pose? Her legs, her knees are open, her feet are together. And once you're in that sitting pose, that butterfly, you can move your knees up and down like a fluttering butterfly, like you're flying away. All right, let's try it. So this one is a sitting pose. So we're gonna sit right on the ground. And she has her feet together. So your knees are gonna come out almost like you're crisscrossing, but you're gonna bring the soles of your feet, the bottom of your feet, they're gonna come right together. And if you want, you can bring the feet closer to your body. Her hands are on the ground behind you, but you can be in the ground in front or behind, or you can even hold the ankles. All right, so to make it like a butterfly, you can flap your knees up and down like you're flying in the sky. So you can play around with that, big flap, or you can bring your hands to the ground right here and fly, or behind you. Or if you want to feel a really deep stretch, you can take your elbows and gently press your knees or your thighs and bring them down towards the ground to your butterfly. It looks silly. Okay. All right. So I think that's all of the cards we're going to use today. But I also wanted to show you, show you another breathing technique. And this one's really tricky. And you can start with your mouth open doing it, but eventually you're going to close your mouth. So this is a type of breath that people will do during a yoga class or practice. So when they're moving around, like when we do sun salutations, we did that before, they'll be using this type of breath, and it's called Ujjayi breath. So it's a kind of a silly name, Ujjayi breath. And that, to explain how to do it, it's breathing, but you're gonna breathe in the back of your throat. So it makes this sound, and the way I do it and how I think about it is when you are in the car and you might fog up your window and you have to do that big, deep breath and you go, and it fogs up the window and then you can write in it. It's almost like doing that big, deep breath in the back of your throat, that sound, but you do it without opening your mouth. So you do it with your mouth closed. So I'm gonna turn this music down. I'm gonna do it and see if you can hear. And we'll try it a few times with our mouth open, and then eventually we're gonna close the mouth and see if you can try to do it. And if you can't, that's okay. It's gonna take a few tries. But I'll show you how I do it. So I'm gonna close my mouth, and then I'm gonna imagine breathing from the back of my throat as if I wanted to fog up a window, but I can't open my mouth. All right, ready? Okay, so I hope you heard it. I can hear it in my own head, but it's a deep breathing as if I was fogging up a window, but my mouth is closed. Almost like you're roaring, like you're ready to like rumble your breath, like you're growling. All right, so we're gonna try that. So if you wanna sit the same way that you started, maybe cross your legs or sit on your knees, and just imagine, we'll take our window, so your hand, you pretend that's your window or glass or whatever you want it to be. And we're gonna start with the mouth open and try to pretend that we could fog it up. You could even, if you're one of your parents or someone has a handheld, like a little mirror, you could even take one and actually fog it up and just see what it looks like. So, but I'm gonna pretend this is my mirror, my hand. And I'm gonna take big deep breaths from the back of my throat as if I could fog up my mirror. All right, so when you're ready, we're gonna breathe in through your nose, and this time we're gonna breathe out through our mouth. Ready? So breathe in and breathe out. Fog your window up. We'll do that again. Ready? Breathe in. Breathe out. One more round. Breathe in through your nose. And out of your mouth. Okay, now we're gonna try it while keeping our mouth shut. So you're gonna breathe in through your nose, out through your nose, but you're gonna focus on the back of your throat as if you could fog that window up or that mirror up, but your mouth is closed. Kind of tricky, but we're gonna start anyways. And you'll know if you're doing it because you'll feel it vibrating in the back of your throat, and you'll be able to hear it. If it's a really loud Ujjayi breath, you'll be able to hear your breathing from the back of your throat. All right, ready? So I'm gonna close my eyes. I'm gonna sit up nice and tall. And my hands are gonna be on my knees this time, but if you want to put your hand on your heart and your belly, you can. So I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm gonna start breathing in through my nose and out through my nose. And I'm gonna try to find that breath in the back of the throat. See if I can find that Ujjayi breath. All right, when you're ready, we'll open our eyes. And now you can breathe just normally how you normally would. So I want to challenge you to try to practice your Ujjayi breath. So you can start by going in front of a mirror or a window and you can fog it up with your mouth. And then see if you can work on closing your mouth and breathing, focusing on the back of your throat. To try to get that sound, and then once you have that, that is your Ujjayi breath, and you can practice that maybe while you're doing some yoga poses or you're balancing and staying still. You can try it out. All right, and I will see you all on Friday a little earlier. Friday is going to be at 10:30, so I'll see you all then. Thank you, everyone.